Welcome back to a slightly tipsy episode of A Guide to Poor Parenting, podcast where me, Jason,
and me, Jennifer, not the drunk one or the tipsy one.
Excuse me.
As he coughs everywhere.
Excuse me. As we have a few drinks
and talk shit about our kids
and learn how to read again. Apparently,
yeah.
Please follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Guide to Poor Parenting.
And Facebook, TikTok at Poor Parent Pod. We've taken out Twitter just because we do not post on that. I say we, but Jason.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could, but we have no followers and there's no interaction whatsoever. At least with Instagram, we're getting some, our guests who've been on the pod will like our photos, and I try and tag people, but Twitter is, I just feel like I'm throwing it into the void.
Yeah. I only used Twitter, I think maybe 3 times, and that was to vote for RuPaul's Drag Race twice, and one to send Jimmy Fallon misheard lyrics because our friend Benjamin, who listens, thank you, Benjamin, for being at one point probably our only listener.
We love you.
He has the funniest misheard lyrics that I've ever encountered in my life. And so I think that's the only 3 things I have on my Twitter.
Do you have any memorable ones?
What do you mean?
Misheard. Do you have any misheard lyrics?
I don't think I do, but I think I know all my lyrics.
Oh, okay.
So I can't say anything, but the one that pops into my mind is Hannah Montana. Who is she?
Miley Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus, Wrecking Ball. Mm-hmm. I came in like a wrecking ball, and then there's a part where he thought that she said, you raped me.
Okay.
And, oh no, gosh, now I'm going to have to look it up because I can't remember. But he just cracked me up. And then also Chandelier. Uh-huh. He had some really hilarious ones about Chandelier, that he, just
butchered the lyrics.
Oh my gosh, I love him so much, and I'm just gonna blame it on him being so country. That he just messed it all up.
My most memorable messed up lyric was I don't remember who sings it, but it's you make me feel like a natural woman. Who is that? You know that song?
Yep.
Who is that? Do you know? Zane would know, but
I
mean, it's an older. It's from our generation when we were kids. But there's a song called I think it's "Natural Woman" is the name of the song.
It is.
But I guess the chorus is "You make me feel like a natural woman," but they sing it so slow, and I didn't understand it the first time I heard it. So I thought they were saying "You make me feel like a man, but you're a woman."
Oh,
I was like, that doesn't make sense.
A lot of people misheard Jimi Hendrix.
Okay.
There's a line that's supposed to be, excuse me while I
kiss the sky.
And they always heard, excuse me while I kiss this guy.
Yeah.
Which I find fun, and I like that one. So I use that one. So Benjamin writing about the rape and it's something about God. And the thing is I haven't logged into Twitter in so long that now it just gave me a new user ID.
Oh Lord.
And I don't know what to do. So
yeah, my personal Twitter account is just nothing but filth. So I'm it's I cannot open it in public. But the podcast one, it's all parenting and famous parent celebrities or celebrity parents. And I was I don't interact with it much. I barely interact with any of the other ones, but I just try and post stuff. But So if you're following us on Twitter, which I don't think you are, sorry, but I'm not going to post anymore.
Yeah.
I feel frankly fucking amazing that I can get the podcast out and plus our to Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Right. While working and taking care of
2 children.
Yeah.
One who I'm married to.
Yeah. You said it. I didn't.
Miss Jennifer, how's your week been?
It's been okay.
Liar. But we're not going to go into it.
Yeah. That's my go-to. I'm still not excited, but ready for my interview on Monday. We are doing 2 podcasts today because Jason is going out of town next weekend, so we're kind of banking some.
Yep.
So this will come out, like, I guess while you're gone or after you're gone.
This one will come out. Yeah, this one, it'll be after we get. No shit. This will be. So we recorded the Reddit posts right before this one, and that will come out Wednesday, the 27th, I think. And then the week after that is Alyssa. She'll be she's our next guest in the lineup.
I really liked her a lot.
Yeah, she was really cool.
Yeah.
If you're in Nashville, go see Haute Coco. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she has a burlesque show, but she came on our podcast. As you know, because this podcast came out after her episode. But this episode will come out so like second week of April, I believe.
Okay.
So, but I wanted to bank some so we could, and we're going to bank a couple more because we're getting close to the end of our 5th season.
I cannot believe that we've been doing this for 5 seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, as a COVID project for us to keep on doing this and coming up with more stuff and meeting so many cool fucking people.
Yeah.
I think that's my favorite part of this podcast is that we've got to meet and for me to reminisce and see people I haven't seen in a while,
like Miss Molly.
Know? Yeah. And like the whole Shenanigans crew, like to meet Jessica and Kim, and then with our people from our adoption group that the meeting that we go to, they're so nice and just wonderful people, and to learn more about their story because we only have like an hour ish to talk before the kids start roaming the hallways and you can hear them like it's time to go,
so Jennifer's talking about our support group meeting. I thought you were for a minute there. I thought you were talking about the podcast.
Oh no. Well, that we're on the podcast.
Yeah.
You know, and oh, I think it was you came in like a rainbow, and then you tried to rape me or something like that. I just messaged Benjamin and got 2 cry laughing emojis. And when I asked him, what were the lyrics that you heard in Wrecking Ball?
But I was like, call him and put him on speaker.
Oh, no, I'm not going to do that.
Oh, okay.
Without his permission. And,
well, text him, ask him if he'll call.
Well, I mean, I still see Bubbles, so he might be busy with his boyfriend.
Well, tell him to pull out and...
Oh. Yeah. So that's what he said. He said, I thought she was singing I Came In Like a Rainbow and then something about you raped me.
Okay.
So I was right. Yay for me.
Yeah, hey, come on, mom brain.
I know, right? But yeah, so misheard lyrics, like just hearing what other people, and then there's a comedian I saw on Facebook Reels, because I don't go on TikTok no more, just because
Did you lose too much time there?
Yeah, and then I get overwhelmed because I look and I see like 99 plus from my friends, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. It just and I can go through a rabbit hole on Facebook, and it probably would be the 99 plus, but I don't see the numbers. So, but he like will be on stage and have like a little recorder and just be like, listen to this. So I think they're saying this, and he hits play, and then you hear what he hears, even though you know what the lyric is, and it's funny. So,
Well, as Jennifer is looking for or texting with Benjamin, I'm being attacked by my kitten Milo at the moment. We normally don't let this little rascal out of the back bedroom while we're recording, but I was like, oh, let's try it, see how we do. And now he's just attacking the shit out of my arm. So if you hear any rustling and you hear a kitten growling,
right,
that's what's happening.
Or Jason go, ow, you got like actual skin instead of arm.
Yeah, he will. I'll be in meetings a lot of time, and he'll be in there with me, and he'll like try and get on my desk while I'm typing, and I'm like, okay, stop biting me, stop. It's like, I love you, stop it. And I'm like, oh, Milo's here, and everyone's like, oh, how's Milo? And then he'll start attacking me.
He's good. He's just attacking me.
He's good. He's my little precious baby.
This morning, the puppies woke me up about 7, ready to go out, and I let Puppy, my cat, come cuddle with me. And I broke my finger. Well, I guess it's been about a month now.
Yeah.
And I don't wear my little splint that I'm supposed to wear when I'm sleeping because I want my finger to breathe, because the splint has little holes and they leave the holes on my finger because it's still swollen and red.
Still?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was petting her, and then she bit the tip of my pinky, and I'm like, oh, motherfucker. Okay, I love you, and I know you want to be petted, but I'm going to turn around. And I actually went back to sleep.
Oh, wow.
Which is really surprising for me. But I put on my little stories to
help it go back to sleep.
Help me go back to sleep. It's Pride and Prejudice, which
that'll definitely put you to sleep.
Well, I love the movie.
Oh, okay.
And I've read the book. But the lady's voice is just so soft and soothing that she puts me to sleep. I saw a Facebook reel. Apparently, BBC for Mother's Day. I don't know his name, but he is a very sexy black man who was on Bridgerton. And he was like the Duke.
Yeah.
Reggie, maybe?
Okay. I'll look it up while you're talking. Go ahead.
He is very a sexy man, and his voice is very sexy. And he was like giving like smoldering eyes. And they were showing like different couples watching him do the bedtime story for the BBC.
Ooh.
And one guy was like, hey, we're missing this show. And I don't know if it was a friend or who the woman was, but she was like, we can catch that up. I was told we have to watch this. And, you know, he comes on and all the women are like, oh, that's the Duke from Bridgerton.
Is this him?
I can't see from this far away. I'm sorry. But he is a very sexy man, and his voice is very sultry, and he has a smoldering eyes. And so there's like a lesbian couple and a straight couple and a gay couple. Still can't see. Sorry.
I'm showing Jennifer some pictures, but she can't see them.
And so he's like telling the story, like a bedtime story about a fox or something. And this one couple is a straight couple, is a black guy and a black woman, and he was like, are you listening to the story? And she just kind of stops for a second. She's like, what story? Like, you know. And then he was like, well, at the end, he was like, well, I hope you have happy dreams tonight. And then the one lady, an elderly lady, is like, well, I'm going to have some wet dreams tonight. And that person next to him is like, oh my God, like you said, you know. And it was so funny because the one lady, like there was an older couple, and she's like, he's making me very hot underneath the collar. And the husband, who you can just tell is like a straight man, is like, he's kind of making me hot under the collar too. And this is like a 67-year-old man. So it's hilarious.
That is so funny.
But no, I just listen. I don't watch the videos to go to night. But it really helps.
Yeah, I have no doubt.
Because she tells me to stretch and to get comfortable, and then she starts the story, and I already know the story, so it's not like I'm really paying attention because I know what happens. And like I don't think I've actually finished the whole like first chapter.
I remember
So-
when you first got Wesley, you would play these like I don't know, meditation audio files or something like that on Spotify or something, or it was like sleepy time stories.
No,
or
I
something.
got Calm.
Oh, Calm.
I didn't get Calm. I did the free trial on Calm.
Yeah, but I remember you telling me that Wesley, y'all were listening to him one time, and Wesley's like, "Mom, this is making me very sleepy."
And that's the whole point.
That's the magic of
It works. I got off of Calm and I'm now on Slumber.
Yeah, okay.
Calm, it was really hard to find like free versions that I hadn't heard in like so many times.
Right.
And then they were just kept on like pay like $100 a year, and I'm like, fuck a bunch of that shit. Slumber, it wants you to pay every time you open it up. It's $40 a year or $3.33 a month, but you can still find free shit. And I'm still on Pride and Prejudice. I did do Sense and Sensibility because I love that movie and I've read the book before. But the first chapter of Sense and Sensibility is really fucking sad.
Yeah.
Well, because it's all girls and the dad dies and gives, at that time back in the day, all the money went to the next man.
Yeah.
And that was like a cousin or some fucking shit.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, well, I'm supposed to give them this much money a month. And then the wife of him was like, oh, I don't think they need that much.
Oh, Jesus.
And, oh, no, that's too much. And like, she just kept like lowering. And I'm like, okay, I can't have that as what I go to bed to, because fuck a bunch of that shit. Like, me and Kali in the car, I don't know how the conversation started, but we were talking about, one of her favorite YouTubers has like, I guess, dyed her hair like fiery red, and was talking about like if she had been born during the time of the witches' trials, like in Salem.
Yeah.
That she would have been, deemed a witch.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm glad I live in the era that I do, because technically I would have already been married to somebody that I did not want to be married to, because my father gave them a cow and a couple of bucks.
Well, I could see you being a spinster.
But I wouldn't also be able to hold a job on my own.
Yeah.
And have my own house. Like, I would have to depend on people. Fuck a bunch of that shit, because I'm very independent.
Yeah.
If you guys have not figured that out in season 5, now you know. I don't need a man to take care of me. I take care of my fucking self.
That's right. Tell him.
And then when you hear these stories about these women, like, getting just, and it's crazy to me to be like, oh, I'm going to dance with you a couple of times and then we're going to get married. No. That is not how my life works.
It's all about perspective, though.
I know, but like, so yeah. Anyways, that is, I'm so independent that I could not do that. I know we just went on a tangent, but we were talking about how my week has been, right?
Yeah.
So, second podcast of the day. I'm still waiting on my interview Monday. Yep. Hanging out with you. Excited about next weekend, because we won't be able to talk about it until after you get back. We get to do an adventure.
Oh, yeah.
We get to do an Edgar Allan Poe speakeasy.
Yeah.
And Alyssa, which you would have already heard about by now, said she went and it was fun except for one drink. And I told her I would still fucking drink it because I paid for it. So what they do is they have actors, I guess, perform Edgar Allan Poe, and then they give you a cocktail with each poem or
story or
something like that. We're just going for adventure time, and I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I am too.
Because, well, I can only remember the Raven. I probably will remember when they're acting it out. Oh, I know this one, but the Raven is the only one that ever comes to my mind when I hear Edgar Allan Poe. But I'm excited about that. I love that we do these weird adventure-y kind of things. I don't mind paying for fun stuff like that.
What's funny is that Jennifer and I were just outside a moment ago, and so in line what Jennifer's talking about. So the thing I'm excited about tonight is we're recording this on March 22nd, and tonight I'm taking Kalia to go see Spaceballs at Shenanigans. And they're doing a savory cinema. They do it like once a month with a movie or something like. It's an expensive ticket. It's like $50, but it includes food and I think all you can eat food and drink. And
I don't think it's all you can eat.
Well, I don't know, but it's food and drink included. And I love Spaceballs, so I'm happy. Like, it is a little expensive, but I'm also happy to support Shenanigans.
Yep.
And Zay and I have a friend over the other night, and we were talking about. I was like, oh, do you want to go to Savory Cinema? Because I was going to go ahead and book the tickets. And I was like, oh, that's $50. And Zane's like, $50? I can watch Spaceballs here, make my own food. I'm like, okay, well, do you want to go? He's like, no. And then, like, not 10 seconds later, we were talking about the Edgar Allan Poe speakeasy. And he's like, oh, yeah, they're going to save us 4 cocktails, but it's $50. And I'm like, $50? I could make my own cocktails at home.
It's the adventure of it all.
I know. And I was like, I'm happy to share that kind of experience with Kalia. So, like, I don't mind doing it. But
Spaceballs is just stupid.
Yes.
And she's 11, right?
Yep.
And I probably saw it when I was 11. There's no sex. Anything that is too risque will just go right over her head, and it's more for the parents than it is for the kid.
I mean, it's Mel Brooks, and it's so slapstick. She won't get a lot of it, but she might. She's never seen Star Wars, so she probably won't get any of the Star Wars references. But it's so stupid and slapstick.
Yeah.
I think she'll have a good time.
I think so too.
So, but
and I'm kind of, if there's tickets available,
you might come.
I might come.
Okay. You won't get out till 9, though.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But I'll have to see if, Zane and Justin would be okay with Wesley being outside to be able to go. But I think I want to say fuck it.
Okay.
And go have fun.
The only thing is, we need to double check. If you're going to come, I'm going to check with Jessica about the
tickets
because it said it was R-rated on the program, but Spaceballs is rated PG-13, so right. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not taking him.
No. But like, if they don't let Kalia in,
yes.
I'll have to like get my money back or something. So that's why I was like, we'll have to talk about it.
Oh yeah,
but yeah,
but. I mean, I love adventures.
Yeah.
I mean, or little things like when we go to Stand Up Live and watch Jaden Dior Fierce do, like we did Hocus Pocus,
Drag Brunch.
Oh, Drag Brunch, and then we did one more Drag Brunch, didn't we?
That's the only one. We did a nighttime one.
I thought we did 2 drag. Well, it doesn't matter.
We did. It wasn't a brunch. We did a Hocus Pocus thing, but it was at night. It was
okay. So, like, little things like that, I don't mind paying the extra money because it's an experience. I love new experiences. Totally. And that's what I think the Edgar Allan Poe thing is going to be.
But make your own cocktails at home. Or for the podcast. No.
I mean, I will not make my own cocktails at home because I do not drink by myself because...
I know. It was a reference to what Zane was talking about.
With you. Well, I'm not Zane.
I know.
All right. So that was, I guess, kind of, how was you kind of interjected about how your week was. Like you're excited about tonight. And
we're already at 25 minutes. So we'll go ahead and.
Okay.
So, all right. So I guess it's my turn to introduce the cocktail this time.
Yeah.
So, as our dedicated as Benjamin would remember, I had a actually Benjamin wouldn't know this, but like Jennifer and I booked our cruise tickets through Costco, And so we got some coupons. Jennifer lost hers.
You got coupons.
Yeah, yours went to ex-roommate who screwed you over. I got a $65 gift card to Costco, so I bought a bunch of wines. And this is our last one of that bunch.
Oh, is it really?
Yep.
Wow.
But it's 14 Hands Winery, and I've had 14 Hands before. They're pretty good. But it's the Hot to Trot Smooth Red Blend from Columbia Valley. I guess it's California. It says, like the untamed horses of the Columbia Valley that stood a modest 14 hands in height. So hands is a height measurement for horses.
Right.
Lord knows why. Our wild and wonderful wine packs a lot of character in a mere 750 milliliter bottle. Aromas of red fruit with smooth flavors of cherry and black raspberry. I don't get any black raspberry.
Or cherry. I don't really like this one, to be honest.
I like it better than the last one.
I don't like it better than the last one. I like the last one better than this one. I mean, maybe I just need drink a
neither of them
more, but it's this one. I'd rather the other one than this one, if that makes sense.
It does. The other one was starting to wear on me a little bit at the end. This one I'm still liking at the moment, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. So we've talked about our week. We've had our cocktail. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. And we're back.
We're back.
Hope y'all missed us. Benjamin, let us know if they're actually sticking in any ads.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry for the annoying, Jennifer, I don't think knows this, but I'm sticking in I edited Jennifer, do you remember our theme music at all?
Yes.
Do you know how it has that boom, boom, boom at the end of it before we kind of transition?
I do not remember that now.
So in our theme music, there's like a boom, boom, boom sound. And I edited just that portion to our transition sound. So when people hear that, they know the break's over.
Okay.
I'm wondering if we're getting any ads yet.
Well, he is the one that would tell, because he was the first one to tell me that he heard an ad in the beginning.
Yep.
Not so long ago. So he usually will tell me quickly, "Ooh, I heard an ad," but he hasn't told me about any ads. But I think he's also changed platforms where maybe he gets free. Like I'm on Amazon.
Yeah.
So I get free without ads. But
the ads are being inserted by the company we host the podcast through, not the platforms it's hosted on.
Okay.
So I don't know who inserts it.
I don't know either.
But I don't know. I know we're up to, I think 29 cents was the last time I saw.
I think you said 30 cents.
All right, while I'm looking that up to see how much money we've made, Jennifer, what are we talking about today?
Aunts and uncles, which we have not covered before.
Yep.
And I am an aunt to many people.
She is Auntie Jay in this household.
I am. And I find it hilarious because when Kiki was on the podcast, which if y'all remember, Kiki is Jason's daughter. She thinks of me as Auntie Jay, but her daughter also thinks of me as Auntie Jay. And I just think that's the funniest thing in the world because it's, two generations both thinking I'm their Auntie Jay. I love it because it just makes me feel like more part of the family in a way. And because this is my family, no matter, what, you are there for me in all my times.
Yep.
No matter good, bad, ugly.
We've been through a lot together.
Yeah. You are my family. And I thought other people were my family. And it's hard when you think of someone as family and then they turn out not to be your family. But when you find your people, it is the coolest thing in the world to know that you have, those people on your side, in your corner, kind of. I don't know what I would do without you, to be honest. And that is why I put up with all the bullshit with the cameras and the videos, and because I don't mind this because no one can see me.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like the sound of my voice, but
you don't ever hear it.
I don't listen to it. So, but I would die for you.
Aw.
And at 43, I found my person, which a lot of people don't find their people. But you're my, ride or die. And that your family loves me and respects me and tries to show my son that if only he would try,
Yeah.
that he would have it made. It speaks volumes, to be honest. Yeah. So I just love being Auntie J.
You are well loved in this family. That is for definitely sure.
Yeah, I feel it too, and I know, even though some might not say it because they're men, and I'm talking about your son. That they know that if ever they need anything, I am there.
Yeah. I think I definitely know the kids, I know Justin and Kiki both, know how close we all are and, and how enmeshed we are all. So I know they can rely on you. And
yep. Even though Justin won't say it,
yeah.
He knows I'm here for him. And I have been, I feel like. Because I was, here when you adopted him.
Yeah. And
I've never told anybody really to call me Auntie J. It just kind of happened.
Yeah. So you actually have nieces and nephews, there's technically step nieces and nephews, but you have nieces and nephews that you're really close to, but do they call you Auntie J?
No.
What do they call you?
Jennifer.
No, okay. Jennifer.
Well,
they used to call you Jennifer.
Noah Bug, who I know you're not supposed to have favorites, but he's my favorite. Noah Bug, we've been on family vacations, and he looked at his mama. He was probably 4 or 5, and he was like, "She's my vacation mama." And he used to call me Joyful. And I don't know how a little 4 or 5-year-old got that deepness in his voice, but Joyful. But it's kind of sad because he's 8 now, and it's Jennifer, so it's kind of sad. But Auntie J started, actually, Gavi is probably 17 now. So 17 years ago, my ex-roommate, who was my best friend at the time, his little brother, who I felt like was my little brother.
And he lived with you too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Here.
Had a daughter, Gavriella. So Gavi girl. And Gavi was my first niece by no blood, but
by love.
By love, yeah. We lived in a little 2-bedroom apartment, and Gavi would stay with us a lot. And I helped raise her. I have a video of her very first birthday and her putting her face inside a little cake that we bought her. And she was just wearing a diaper because we knew she was going to need a bath right afterwards. But me and A, which was her daddy, bought that and sang to her and then gave her a bath when she was done. And so Gavi was my first person to call me Auntie J.
Aww.
And then A had a son, AJ,
who was precious,
who I love. And AJ was the second person to call me Auntie J. And
I think that's where probably Kalia picked it up from then.
Yeah, I would imagine so, because they're close in age.
Yeah. I think he's a little bit older.
Yep. And the very first time I met Kalia was with AJ and Grandma Ceci and Grandpa Emmett, and it was 4th of July. And so I think she got Auntie J because AJ kept calling me Auntie J.
Right.
And Adrian has, the dad, has since passed, unfortunately. And he was like my little brother, and I loved him to death. And he has actually 3 children, but 2 are the only ones, because the third one I was like, baby mama. There was 3 different baby mamas, so it was craziness. And I've not seen Gavi since his funeral, which she still remembered me and still like came up to me and was like, Auntie J, I miss you. And,
Aww.
you know, I love you. And it was very heartbreaking because A lived with me for a long time, and Gavi would come over a lot. But then when baby mama got a boyfriend, Gavi didn't come over so much. And I know that broke A's heart, but it also broke my heart because you're so used to seeing this baby girl and seeing her grow up that you just kind of stop seeing it. So it sucked. When I'll just say my parents, because my pops, my stepdad, is more a dad than my father ever was. They got married 246. So February 4th, 2006.
Right.
So legally, I got 3 stepsisters at that time. Tyron, I want to say, was the only one that was born at the time. So Tyron is my oldest nephew, and he calls me Jennifer. He's like 18 or 19 now. So... Yeah. And then my other sisters had children along the way. So I have, oh my God, let's see if we can try to do this in succession. We have...
Kristen, your eldest, has 5, right?
Well, she has 3...
Well, she has 5 children she's taking care of.
3 by...
birth.
So Tyron, I want to say, you know, of course, is the first. And then I want to say the twins are next. Soraya and Kyra from Ashley. Mm-hmm. And they live with my mom. So I was over there all the time to try to help.
They lived with your mom?
Ashley lived with my mom. Like when they were first.
Okay.
When they were first born.
The way you said it, I thought you meant the twins lived with your mom exclusively.
Oh, no. Mama was there. Okay. Ashley was there.
Okay.
Because twins are fucking hard.
Yeah.
Because... they're fraternal, so one would be awake and one would be asleep. Yep. And it was never that they slept together at the same fucking time.
Yep.
So it was really hard on Ashley, so we all pitched in, you know. The twins have a place in my heart because I got to see them a lot whenever I, you know, went to my mama's. And I went to my mama's all the time. And then next, I think, is Jamorian.
And that's Kristen's?
Kristen's, yeah. And he is, I want to say, around 15, 14. So like Wesley's age.
Yep.
Then I have Kristen has Mikey. Poochie has
August.
Autumn. And then Ashley has Noah. And I want to say that Noah or Autumn is the youngest. I get confused because the time periods and my memory.
I think Noah's the youngest.
I'm not really sure.
It doesn't really matter.
Mikey could be the youngest. I'm not really sure. But there's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah.
The reason why the twins and Noah are so close to my heart is because at one point Ashley needed a place to stay and I had the rooms. So they lived with me. So I got to be Santa for Noah.
Aww.
Like twice. And that was like the coolest fucking thing in the world. To be able to like brighten that baby's day in the morning, like put all the stuff in the stockings. Because the twins were older and they, you know, they didn't believe. But they were really good about not like telling Noah that,
Oh, they adore their younger brother.
Well,
I mean, I'm sure
to an extent.
I'm sure they it gets on their nerves, but I can tell the love is there.
Oh, yeah.
They care about him.
Yeah, definitely. And so that was a really cool time to be, and then that made me and my youngest sister, because Ashley's the youngest of them all, more close.
Yeah.
Because it was, she was there all the time. And me and the twins and me and Noah Bug, because, again, I know you're not supposed to have favorites, but Noah Bug is definitely my favorite. And I probably will call him Noah Bug until I die. Yeah. And I don't care if he cares or not, because he's my Noah Bug.
It's whatever. Like, I don't want to say I was my Aunt Nelda had, my mom was one of five kids, and my Aunt Nelda had a bunch of nieces and nephews, but I'm probably the one she was closest to, because I just adored her and wanted to spend all my time with her. So I would imagine I was probably her favorite too, because she was my favorite. So
yeah,
it happens. I mean, I feel like favorites among nieces and nephews is a whole lot more acceptable than favorites among children.
Yeah.
So
I would say that as well.
Yeah.
And you would not tell any of them.
Yeah. And it's not like these fuckers are going to listen to this shit anyway.
They're not going to listen to this.
So, but I guess you grew up around your mother's. Well, you didn't really grow up around them, but you spent significant time when you were in Germany with your aunts and uncles, right?
Yes.
And you're still pretty, like, you're not super close. Like, you don't call them every day, but you're like, I feel like you have a pretty good relationship with all your aunts and uncles. Even on your dad's side, you have a somewhat decent relationship, don't you?
Well, so my father only had one sibling, my Uncle Steve.
And that's your cousin Trish's dad, right?
Yes.
In Indianapolis. Go Hoosiers.
Yeah. And Uncle Steve was fun to be around.
But he wasn't very responsible?
My father and my Uncle Steve are both alcoholics. And my Uncle Steve owned a bar.
Oh,
so an alcoholic owning a bar. He didn't really take care of my cousin. And growing up, you don't see that.
Yeah.
I know, like, we went to his house. I know there's pictures of me when I was 4 or 5 sleeping on the couch on New Year's with, like, a party hat on while everybody else partied around me kind of thing. But Uncle Steve, I don't really keep much in contact with him.
Is he still alive?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, is your grandfather who just died somewhat recently?
Yeah, my grandpa passed somewhat recently, and Uncle Steve is supposed to be taking care of everything, but I don't think he's responsible enough to take care of everything. Gotcha. So I really don't know what's going on with that whole thing, so I don't even want to get into that. But
I gotcha.
So Trish really lived with my grandparents and not her mom or her dad.
Gotcha.
Like, they just kind of dropped her off at,
Gotcha.
I call them my grams and my gramps.
Right.
So that was my father's parents.
But on your mom's side, you're like, you have.
Like, my mom's side, they have 6 kids.
Oh, I didn't realize there was that many.
Yeah. I want to say, and I might get this wrong. Let's see.
I mean, you don't have to name them if you don't want to.
Well, no, I can name them. It's fine. I'm trying to think of, like, age-wise. So Mecky is the baby. There was a cartoon, apparently, like, of a porcupine in Germany. Okay. And his name was Mecky. Mm-hmm. So my uncle's real name is Stefan.
Okay.
But I guess the porcupine reminded my family of Mecky, so Stefan, so they just started calling him Mecky.
Okay.
So he's my Uncle Mecky, and he's been that way ever since I can remember. I think Elky's next.
Do you know how old Mecky is? Because your mom's in her...
My mom is 20 years older than me, so she's 63.
Okay. So Mecky's probably in his 50s?
Yeah, like probably, I think they were all kind of born
Close.
close.
So he's late 50s.
Possibly.
Yeah.
So I think it's Mecky and then Elkie, who's my aunt, and then my mom, Yuda, and then Uwe, who's my uncle.
Okay.
And then Doris. I want to say that Doris is the oldest.
That's only 5.
That's 5. Hold on. Maybe she only had 5. As I say that out loud, no, because that's the 5 oldest.
Okay.
Okay. That's all with my Oma, who's my grandma, Ursula. Then my Opa, who's my grandpa. He divorced my Oma and then married a woman younger than my mom. And I got 2 more aunts. I got an aunt and an uncle from that marriage.
I remember this word because you changed their diapers a couple of times, didn't you?
Yeah, I've never met the baby, Saskia.
Okay.
Who's a girl. I never met her. But Daniel was the same age as Doris's daughter, Vanessa. So they were cousins. No, aunt and uncle, but same age.
Okay.
Right? If she's the baby, fuck.
It
doesn't really matter. But Daniel was my uncle, and Daniel was an infant, and Vanessa was my cousin, and she was an infant, and we all got baptized at a Lutheran church at the same time, and I changed my uncle's diapers.
That's precious.
Which is weird. But so
it happens.
So I've met Daniel, but only as a baby.
Yeah.
And Saskia I've never met.
But I say
no, there's Reiner. That's the other uncle I was missing.
Your mom's
older brother.
Ursula's...
Reiner came and walked her down the aisle when she married Pops.
Oh, okay.
So there's the 6. I knew there was 6. I just didn't remember Reiner. Sorry, Reiner.
Reiner's where in the lineup?
He's kind of older in the older part of the lineup.
Okay.
I don't know if he's the oldest or not. I never really paid attention, and can't really remember. I just know that they're all there.
But I know growing up in, like when you went to Germany, like because you were kind of in a small town, like you were not super close, but like you were at their house all the time, and because it was easily walkable or
not when we were there for my father's deployments.
Oh, okay.
Only
when you went for the summers?
For the summers, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's when it was, I'm going to go to Opa's, I'm going to ride the U-Bahn, which is a subway, or the U-Bahn to Mecky's, or, and then I stayed with Doris mostly. Doris and Mecky used to live in the same kind of building at one point, so it was really easy to go back and forth to their house. And my uncle Mecky was married to my Aunt Annette at the time, and we would have breakfast there. So we would walk to the bakery, go get our breads and yumminess, and then walk to the butcher and get our meats. And then the butcher knew me, which is funny. And there's a sausage called Gebwurst. Mm-hmm. And he would give me a big slab of it so I could just gnaw on it while they bought everything. And we would have these elaborate breakfasts. And I loved it. And then, but mostly when my mom and I, it was only when my father was in deployment that we would go.
Okay.
And then my family saved up money for, I want to say I was either 11 and 12 or 12 and 13. I can't remember exactly how old I was, but it was 2 summers. And they saved up the money and they bought me tickets to fly over. And I would stay the whole summer there. And just, I'm 12, whatever, and run amok. And just go to all these people's places and visit everybody and just have a Great old time.
I
And
bet.
no one worried,
Well, yeah.
which is crazy thinking about it now, because I don't even want to leave my 14-year-old alone in my own house,
Yeah.
let alone like ride the shuttle bus to a location.
Yeah, but like you got to think like the town was probably
Oh.
like half as big geographically as Huntsville, like because American towns are so fucking spread out that like there's a lot more density in European cities and towns. So, and
Maybe.
I mean, like there's probably distance between them, but like once you're in the town itself, there's a lot more density. So like getting around is probably not as crazy.
Yeah.
And also, like, Germans fucking love their rules and obeying those rules.
Yep.
And so, it doesn't surprise me that, like, I mean, compared to you and Wesley, that just doesn't shock me at all.
Yeah. Nürnberg is actually, there used to be a castle there, I want to say. I don't think there's one there now. But it is surrounded by a very large wall. Mm-hmm. So it's very closed. Yeah. Like it's surrounded. You have to, I don't know, somehow get out, but it's hard to. But I knew where I was going.
Yeah.
And I could read and speak it and talk it like I was the king of the castle. like New Yorkers having a subway card to go anywhere, like to go to school. It was kind of that situation.
Yeah. Well, that's what I meant. It was like,
Yeah.
Here in Huntsville, like we're in any American city, like outside of New York or the major metropolitans. Well, Chicago, New Jersey, and probably Chicago and maybe DC.
Yeah.
Or Philly. Like those cities are so goddamn dense that they're probably more similar to a European city. But like here in Huntsville, you can't. I mean, I'd be scared of letting Kalia just wander fucking around.
Yeah.
And especially since we're not close to any of our relatives here. So, like, where's she going to go? Is she going to go down to the, down the street to the homeless shelter?
How's she going to get to Nana's, who's in fucking...
Another county away.
Not Ardmore.
She's at Limestone County, which is, 25 miles away.
Right, yeah. There's no way she could get to Nana's.
Yeah.
And as a 43-year-old, I would want to ride on the shuttle bus.
Yeah.
I'm not being mean, but I would rather be in New Orleans riding a bus, New York riding a bus, Chicago, wherever, but not out Huntsville.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
Yeah.
But that's
I've
just
never
the feeling that I
experienced
have. No, I haven't even been on one.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling.
Yeah.
And I don't want to ride them.
Well, especially the area like Zay and I live, we're not like super close, but we're not like we're walking distance to like a homeless shelter. I mean, it's a trek, so it's not like right down the street, but we're pretty close to there's a major street called University in Huntsville, and it can be a little sketchy sometimes. It's a little bit your hand's right on it, Jay. There it is. Jennifer dropped a cashew and she's like feeling around her tits trying to find it.
Thanks for telling everybody.
You're welcome. Yeah. When I was thinking about this, the reason I brought this up, or the reason I thought of this, this idea for the podcast is because, it seems like your aunts and uncles are somewhat close in age. Mm-hmm. My aunts and uncles are all pretty close in age, but they had their kids spaced out super wide. So like my dad is one of four. He's the second youngest. So it's my Aunt Nancy, who's been on the podcast. Love you, Aunt Nancy.
Love you, Aunt Nancy.
Then it was my dad. Then it was my Aunt Martha. And then it was my Aunt Carolyn, who we called Chunna, because Martha couldn't say Carolyn, so they called her Chunna.
Oh.
Isn't it precious?
Which is weird because there's no M or anything to that. But
up into her 90s, she was Chunna.
Well, okay.
But like Chunna had her kids. I was of all the first cousins, I am the second youngest. Kelly, who is Nancy's daughter, is the youngest by 3 years. But like after me is my brother, and then after that is my cousin Tom, and he's like 6 years older than my brother. So I am a baby by a big margin.
Right.
So and my parents, we were in Austin growing up, and most of my family, my dad's family is in Northeast Texas, and my mom's family is in the Houston area. And my mom's one of 5, but like my aunt Faye, who's the eldest, so
Who I love.
Aunt Faye. So for our listeners, I don't know if I ever told the story, but my mom's siblings, for some reason, my grandmother had this crazy idea of a naming convention. So it's Wanda Faye is the eldest, then it's Glenda May, and then it's Nelda Ray, and then my mother was supposed to be Linda Kay.
Right.
But I think grandma had a problem with the delivery, so granddad got a hold of her and named her Ruth Thelma.
There you go.
So the entirety of her life growing up, she was Ruth Elma.
Yep.
And then it was my uncle, my mom's younger brother, Eugene. Gene. But yeah, I was the baby.
But they were kind of all older.
Yeah.
And if they had children, all the children were a lot older than you as well.
Well, like Glenda, my mom's second eldest sister, she got married at 18 and she had her first child at 19.
Oh, wow.
And my aunt Nelda, who I was super close with, she had her first child she was kind of abused by my granddad. And so she asked grandma to sign the marriage petition just so she could get away from granddad.
A lot. That happened a lot back in the day.
Yep.
It was just, I found a man, I don't care, and
get me out of this house.
That was just a bad situation.
But Nelda was 16 when she had her first child.
Yeah.
My cousin Calvin, and then she had her next child at 19. Well, she divorced her first husband, then she met my Uncle Ted. And they had their son at when she was 19 or 20, I think. So like he's almost 10 years older than me.
Right.
So, but I don't know. Like I've heard this before from other gay men. When you were a young homosexual, a group of 50-year-old women is your best Judies. Like.
That's like all your like aunts and uncles.
Oh my God! You have found your audience. You have found the group of people that love
your golden girls.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not being mean, but they were all so much older than you were. So
yeah, and
they
like
were
their
your
kids,
golden girls.
Their kids were out of the house. I was the fun, sweet, like overly sensitive gay kid that loved them. So yeah, Nelda was like even my mom was probably the closest to Nelda. My Aunt Faye, who we just adore. She's 90 years old this year, deaf as a doornail, blind as a bat. She's got macular degeneration. She has 5 hearing aids, only 2 of which work, and she keeps losing them. So every time I call her, she's screaming at me. And I was just like, I feel so sorry for her because I'm just like, I know she's lonely. And then my Aunt Glenda, who's 89 years old, just moved into an assisted living house with her 90-year-old husband. But
I haven't met Glenda, have I?
No, you haven't. She's never been out this area.
Okay.
But Nelda I was always closest with, like growing up. I just adored Nelda. She is the person even my mom was like super close to her. My Glenda is a bit, I love Glenda, but she's borderline MAGA.
Oh, no.
Which is weird because she was a teacher for all those years. But she's also like super religious too. So that's part of it. But I was always super close to my Aunt Nelda. And Nelda had a stroke probably... How long has it been now? It's probably been 10 years. It was like when Zane and I first started dating, actually. We weren't married yet. Okay. It's probably been 12 years. She had a stroke. And I would call her pretty regularly. I would go visit her when I was in Texas. Mm-hmm. But after she had the stroke, she couldn't talk. So I was like, well, I was here and I missed her. So I would start writing her letters. And I would write her a letter weekly. Nothing big. I was just like, here's what's going on. I would snap some photos on my phone and print them out. And I'd send them to her. You
were just like the sweetest
I mean,
person ever.
I loved my Aunt Nelda so much. And I just felt,
you keep in contact with everybody. I mean, I know I've been there when you either called Aunt Faye or Aunt Faye called you. And
she
it
screams at
is
us.
the hardest conversation to have because she doesn't hear your questions and she just says, I'm going to call you every week. I promise I will do it. And then you ask her a question and she says, oh, well, this is what happened. And she never answers your question, but she just talks and you listen. And oh my God, I got to meet her once and she is, oh my God, she's just the sweetest.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. She's always talked super loud. I think she's always had a little hard of hearing, but she's always been just kind of a yeller.
Or she could just be like me. I'm loud as fuck.
But yeah, so with Nelda, I felt, I was like, I knew she was feeling trapped and kind of, because she's always got out and did stuff, and she's like us. She liked an adventure, and so I was like, I would write her letters, and then she passed away in 13, I think, or 14, and I was like, well, I was pretty good about contacting her. I was like, why don't I start contacting my other aunts? So I started calling my aunts. So like every week I have a routine where I was like, Monday was my Aunt Nancy. Tuesday was my Aunt Martha, who is my dad's second eldest sister, who is still alive, or is still alive. And then Thursday was my Aunt Glenda, and Friday was my Aunt Faye. Mm-hmm. And I always got tickled with my mom. She's like, you better stop this. They're going to start relying on it. It was like, I don't mind. I think these sweet little ladies don't have a ton going on in their lives.
Right.
And I can damn well guarantee none of my other cousins are doing this shit.
Right.
Because I don't know anybody that calls their aunts and uncles.
I mean, I don't.
Yeah, like
I don't, first off, know how to do
WhatsApp or
long distance
Germany
calls, because like an 010 number or some shit like that, and I don't know how much that would cost. And the only person I have stateside is my Aunt Doris, but her and my Uncle Peter are like retired, so they're cruisers.
Oh fuck yeah.
So they're like on a cruise all the fucking time, so I never know if they're home or not. So and my mom, so Doris is older than my mom, and Doris is just like, oh, we did this, and Vanessa is doing this, and Eric
is she a bit of a braggart?
She's a bit of a bragger, and my aunt was mad that I didn't go to college right out of high school, and I helped watch my brother. And at one point, I told my aunt, look here.
Look here, Auntie.
This was my decision.
Yeah.
Yes, I was, 18, but I am
like,
older than 18 at this point because I've always been responsible. I'm an old soul, as I've been told so many fucking times in my life. I'm responsible.
Yeah.
I wanted my brother to have a good life and be able to not have a bad experience in daycare. So I wanted to make sure that he could tell me, Sissy, someone didn't change my diaper today, or some bullshit like that.
Yep.
And that's the reason why I didn't go to college. But you know what? I've been in the same fucking company for 19 years. Well, and I can retire in at 30 years, and that would put me at 54.
Well, and you own your own house.
What? Fuck college.
Yeah.
And fuck you for being mad at me or mad at my mom that I didn't go to college. I didn't have to. I went to college when my brother went to college because at that point I could afford that shit. And that was just more for me to be like, you know what? I could do this shit.
Yeah.
I don't need to, but I can. It took me a minute because of COVID and everything else, but
Yeah.
but like I have no student debt. I have paid everything out of pocket. I'm free and clear, and I have an associate's
Yeah.
and 2 like certificates
Yeah.
of something of distinction.
Yeah.
So you know what? I did good.
Yeah, you did great. Yeah. I will say, like, I recognize as I get older that I am kind of different in well, I like you and Zane love listening to music, and I think y'all use that to decompress a lot, especially when you're driving.
Nope.
Not anymore?
I only listen to music in the car with Wesley in the car now.
But before that, you used to listen to music, right?
I did.
Yeah.
But I don't anymore. Now it's my podcasts.
Yeah. But what I was going to say is, though, like...
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I don't, like, I'm not I like music, but it's not like ooh, I got to listen to this shit all the time. So for me, when I'm in the car, it's like, ooh, who am I going to call?
Right.
So for me, it hasn't been difficult to keep up phone conversations like that. Even if it, like, half the time when I call my aunts, it's like, oh, what's going on? Nothing. I'm like, okay, well, just, how was church? It was okay. How was bridge? It was good. How are your eyeball injections for your macular degeneration? They hurt. Right. Okay. Well, but they love it.
Right.
And I know how much they appreciate it because I honestly, I can't think of anybody that really does. Like, Zane certainly doesn't do it. I don't know. None of my friends do it.
You are the only person I know.
Yeah. But
that calls people
that as regularly. Yeah.
I don't like the phone. And that's just 10 years in a call center. So I would rather text than call. Or hell, just go visit.
Yeah, that's true.
Not that I've got to do that very often, but I would rather do that than talk on the phone. And the only person I'll talk on the phone with really is my mama.
Yeah.
And that's just because I'm a big mama's girl.
I will say, though, you've also lived in the same city for the last 30 years, maybe 25.
No, because we got back here at I was 12.
So 28 years, maybe?
No, I'm 43, so...
Anyway, it's probably about 30 years.
31?
Okay.
I mean, I've been back and forth, but...
Yeah. But I would say, like, I've moved around a bit because of college and that sort of thing. So, like, I like to... Like, I have... keep in contact with people just because I get lonely.
Right.
And so...
And you've not been in a call center where you've had to talk all day, 24/7.
This is true.
And hear people yell at you.
So, for all our listeners out there, call your aunts and uncles. I'm sure they would love to hear from you.
I mean, I got to take Patrick, my brother, who I adore and have helped raise and am very proud of. We took a trip to South Carolina before Wesley, so like 6 years ago.
Right.
Ish. And when we went to go visit my Aunt Doris, my Uncle Mecky happened to be visiting at the same time.
Aww.
Which was really fucking cool.
That's awesome.
So I met his new girlfriend or whatever. And her daughter and granddaughter.
Right.
And we had a great time. But being a military brat, I pick up accents.
Oh, me too.
And don't, like, especially German, because I grew up listening to German, so German's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's when I pick up other accents that's kind of probably weird on the people, but when me and Patrick were on the way back home, he was like, do you realize that you're speaking German and English at like in between conversations? And I'm like, I am not. And he was like, Sissy, you just said, I'll just put, we're almost there und it'll take 15 minuten.
Not minutens.
And that is the und and the minutens were German. Luckily, he took German, so he knew what I was talking about. But still, I didn't realize I was being like my Oma, which is my German grandma, because she would say und a lot.
Right.
It would be like, Jennifer, und we went to the store, und we... for some reason, she never said and right. That's what und means. It was always und. And it reminds me so much of my Oma that it just makes me kind of chuckle.
Where were you going with the story?
With Patrick.
Oh, okay.
That he got to meet his Uncle Mecky, Doris, and then like hear how, for some reason, I picked it up again and was just speaking. And then he had to, like, do you know you're doing this? No, I do not know this. So I don't even know if my Oma knew she did this. And I never, like, questioned her and was like, hey, do you know you're not saying and? You're saying und? Yeah. But my brother got to meet my Uncle Mecky and Doris, and we had and Uncle Peter, and I think Vanessa and Eric, my cousins, were there. But like growing up, the only cousin I really knew was my cousin Trish, because she's a year older than me, almost. Yeah. Because her birthday was just yesterday, and my birthday's in May. So she's a little bit over a year older than me. So that's the only cousin I had until I was old enough to change my uncle and my cousin's diapers at the same time. It is a really weird
family dynamic.
Yes. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's uncles and aunts, and like, I'm not calling nobody, but Jason is the sweetheart and he calls everybody.
That's right.
But we want to tell you guys to call your family so that you can get in the will.
I tell you what.
Because I'm trying to get in Faye's will with Abert.
Yep. All right. So this is probably a good transition spot.
Okay.
So if you have any, for all our listeners, if you have any funny stories about your kids,
or if you need some bad parenting advice, or if you have any ideas for topics,
email us at guidetopoorparenting@gmail.com, and soon to come a voicemail number, so you can leave us voicemails, and we'll season 6, be on the lookout.
And I know you guys don't like to email, but I mean, we would love to hear your stories. Yes. For real. Yeah. I'm not like joking. I love to hear funny fucking stories.
Oh yeah, it'd be great.
Okay.
All right, so we'll take a quick break. Break.
Oh, someone's been drinking too much wine.
God, Looney Tunes.
I'm going to have to drive to the Spaceballs, I think.
Shush. All right. We'll be right back. And we're back. Miss Jennifer, what are we snacking on today?
We have been snacking on salted cashews. Yes. And it has been very, very yummy. Mm-hmm. And I want some more.
Well, we're about to leave for shenanigans.
As you talked about me trying to find the one that fell, but
it was under her boobie.
Well, shut up. It's story time. So Jason's story is this time. So we're going to make him tell the story.
Yes. Can you say story one more time?
Stowaway.
So Zane and I recently had our 10-year anniversary. So
oh my god!
10.
I was there for 7th, and the actual wedding was 7.
The legal one was 7. Yeah. So we had our anniversary is the Ides of March, 2015. So 3/15/15, and I was talking to my mom the other day, and I was like, oh, Mom, guess what day it is? She's like, what? I was like, 10 years ago, you were giving me away to Zane to get married. And she's like, oh, my God, it's been 10 years. I'm like, I know, right? I was like, Mom, what were you doing on your 10-year anniversary? Do you remember what you were doing? She's like, She's like, I don't remember. I was like, when were y'all married? And she said, 1967. I was like, oh, so your 10-year anniversary would have been 1977. That was the year I was born. And I was thinking, oh, how funny that'd be. It's like, oh, maybe y'all were getting busy for your anniversary. And then I'm like, well, I was born in end of December 1977. So if you count back 9 months, that would be like late March, early April. I was like, Mom, when was y'all's anniversary? She's like, April 6th. I'm like, Mom.
I know what you were doing on your 10th anniversary. You made me.
Mother, you were getting busy. Ooh.
I'm sure she turned red on that.
Oh, Lord. We were on the phone, so who knows?
Oh, I mean, but still, I think her face was probably like, oh damn, how the hell did I not put that shit together?
Well, it was funny. I was like, can I please tell this on the podcast? She's like, I don't care.
I've been on. I don't care.
She's like, I'm 82. I don't give a shit.
There you go.
All right. So if you thanks for all our listeners, Benjamin included. Thanks
Love
for
you.
listening to another episode of A Guide to Poor Parenting.
If you like our podcast, please give us a 5-star rating on whatever platform you're listening on.
And if you don't like our podcast, just like our kids ask why they can't have a bunny rabbit, even though they didn't help take care of the gerbil they had.
Tough shit.
Yes. No more
You
pets.
are not going to have another animal until you get the fuck out of my house and you pay and take care of it. That's it.
God damn it.
That's right. Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all.